Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome back to another episode of Woodmere Estate Revival. We are down at the house today to do more cleanup work around the pool, and then we're going to start grinding the old plaster, trying to smooth and bevel it where it meets the new waterline tile, and then we'll begin to patch the plaster throughout the pool so we can go ahead and get ready for paint. We're looking forward to getting this pool done. Can't wait to be able to take a dip in it after a long day working inside the house, putting in trim and hardwood floors and all that good stuff. It'd be great to come out here and jump in the pool and splash around with the kids and enjoy that. We want to get the pool plumbing tested, so we've already pressure tested it, but we want to get the pool filled up and operational and be able to run it for a couple of weeks before we put any concrete around the pool. That's the biggest thing. We want to make sure that we don't have any leaks or need to reconfigure any of our pipes before we put the concrete down, because as you know, that's quite permanent and quite an ordeal if you have to tear it out and redo something. So we're going to make sure it's perfect, and then our concrete guy will come back and we'll finish forming up, putting the reinforcing in, and get that poured for us. That'll be an exciting day. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the mud disappear from around the house. Let me show you where we're starting out and give you an idea what we're going to try to accomplish today. Okay, so yesterday Amber and I finished grouting the pool. We've been installing the waterline tile over the course of the last few weeks, and then we've been working on grouting. We've been using epoxy grout. Epoxy grout is super durable, super long lasting. You can use regular old cement grout in a pool, but you just don't get the durability out of it, especially in the northern climate that we have here. You've got freeze and thaw cycles. It's extremely important to get a good grout in between your tile. That's going to make sure that long term you don't have issues with tile popping off or any sort of freeze thaw issues. So we went with an epoxy grout. It's a little bit more of a pain in the rear end to use because you have a limited working time, and once your working time has expired, this stuff sets up hard, and if you have any left in the bucket, it's wasted. So we went through that the first time. Our first bucket hardened up on us too quickly, and we learned a few things along the way. We actually used a little less of the powder in the epoxy, which is what they recommend for going with smaller grout joints, but it also allowed me to work it into the grout joint faster, slick it off faster, and make more progress faster. And so yesterday when we did our first bucket, which we started right about here and then worked all the way around the deep end of the pool over there to where the vacuum line comes out, we did all that in one bucket. We moved quickly, and we got to use the entire bucket before it hardened up. So we learned a little bit the first time around, and we're able to do it better with our second bucket. And then last night, after the sun had set on the pool, we came down here and started out the vacuum line and then worked all the way over to the corner. Hey, babe.
Hey.
Amber just got here and is ready to get geared up.
You chit-chatting?
Yeah, just filling everybody in what we've been up to.
I thought you'd be to work by now.
I have been. Unloading the truck and getting all that stuff set up. So the grout turned out great. I was just telling them about our adventures with the epoxy grout, how much fun that was. But that turned out really nice. Glad to have that done. The concrete stairs look excellent.
They do.
You happy with those, hon?
Very. That was one of my little things on my list.
Pet projects? Yeah, so when we bought the house, they had a ladder on the deep end over there for getting in and out by the diving board. And then they had a ladder right here next to the skimmer. And other than that, nothing. So if you couldn't climb a ladder, you couldn't get out of the pool. So for older folks or young folks, it would have been a little bit more difficult to get in and out of the pool. So we decided to go with steps. It's going to be a great place to sit and sip.
Yeah, that's what I like to do.
Tall glass of iced tea or some adult beverage. And it'll be a great place for little ones to get down in the shallow water here and play. It is a little bit of a deeper pool. You can see it's about 4 feet here in the shallow end. And then in the deep end, we've got a diving well, and it's about 10 feet plus down there. So again, the steps make it nicer, especially as we get to be old fuddy-duddies. It might get a little harder for us to climb out of the pool too. All right, so today again we're doing some cleanup work. We're going to get the roof of the pool shed cleaned off. We got all kinds of junk sitting up there, and then there's some piles of wood where we did our massive tree cutting projects. We got all that stuff piled up over here. Some of it we got hauled off, some of it's been sitting there for who knows how long. So I need to get that stuff out of here because our patio is going to come straight over from the edge of the slab where the pool house is all the way across here, and it'll come to a corner right about here and then go across the deep end of the pool. Yesterday we also got Neptune out of his pond there. Neptune's pond was looking pretty rough, and Neptune was tired of sitting in the swamp, so we got him out of there. So I don't know that he's real happy with his new digs, but once the patio's done, we'll bring him back down here and get him positioned in a place of honor next to the edge of the pool here. All right, so we're gonna get started cleaning up around the deep end. Amber's gonna go into the garage and put a coat of primer on the walls there. And then once that's done, we're gonna get into the pool and grind on the plaster. Get that smooth and slick down, and then starting probably later on today, we'll go ahead and mix up some plaster patch and start patching in. That's the last step, kind of slicking and smoothing everything out before we're able to paint. So let's get started.
Alright, here comes our first load of wood. We spent the first 30 minutes getting the wood off the side of the hill. We've got our first load. We're going to take it down to the end of the property and hopefully burn it later on. We just ran into a few ants' nests. No snakes, which is good. Now we can get that loaded up and out of here. One step closer to having a pretty pool. All right, so we just loaded our fourth load of trees and branches, and we are finished with that project. So Chris is going to go dump these down at the end, and then he's going to weed eat the bank there, so our contractors can know a little bit better how that lays, so that they can raise it.
So we ran out of paint the other night when we were in here spraying.
We only had 5 gallons.
Well,
and it took it all.
it's probably about 4, I think, because that jug was open. But yeah, we sprayed the entire ceiling, and that took a ton of paint.
It did.
But it's a big room, so it's not surprising. But we got all the way around here, and then we got this wall painted. And then we got on both sides here close to the garage door, because they were going to be installing the new garage door. So we went ahead and painted both sides there so we wouldn't get paint on the new garage door. And we painted above it as well. But Amber's back with the roller rather than dragging the sprayer out and then trying to mask the garage door and all that stuff. It's just easier to roll it at this point. So she's going to get that rolled.
I don't think this will take me more than 40 minutes.
Shouldn't take you too long, I wouldn't think.
Mark my words.
Mark your words. All right, set the timer now. And
All right,
go.
we'll check back.
All right.
All right, well then you better leave me alone. So.
Keep up the good work. I'm going to go move some gravel. All right, I'm using the massive Ferguson tractor to take a load of gravel down the road to fill in some potholes outside the front entrance. Contractors, big heavy trucks, cement trucks, all that stuff, and taking a little toll on our own road here. So I'm going to get out and fill that in.
All right, so it is a brutal afternoon. The temperature's only about 90 degrees, but the sun is out, there's no breeze, and it is just so hot in that pool. I just spent the last 20 minutes sweeping and shoveling out the bottom of the deep end so that Chris can get a measurement on the main drain. We have to get a safety cover for it. And I'm dripping. I think even my cheeks are like sweating. It is just so hot. But Chris has started grinding. I think you can kind of hear him in the background. And this is like one of the last steps for getting the pool finished. So we've got to grind down the edge where the tile went. And then we've got to fill in with some sort of grout, or not grout. I'm sorry. I can't even think right now. Like some sort of cement pool mixture, and make it all smooth, and then we'll be ready for for cleaning and then for paint. So let's go check out what he's doing. I really feel sorry for him. He's all suited up. He's got his respirator on, the shield, the earmuffs, and that awful, awful suit. It looks like he's coming along. I came through and put painter's tape on the edge of the tile just to protect it. He's doing his best to, obviously not to touch it, but he's just grinding down that edge a little bit, smoothing it. And then we'll come through and any repairs. We may need to plaster a little bit. We'll see. We are almost to the end of this long project. Now we just have a whole house to finish. So we bought that diamond blade last summer. I think it cost about 50 bucks. And I was a little upset that it cost so much, but we have used that thing so much on this pool. It has been well worth its cost. All right, so Chris is still working hard. He's made it about 40 feet. I'm a little nervous of him sitting on that, on the deep end. Hard work, sweaty work. They say a prairie doesn't fall. So while Chris is outside sweating his turkis off, I have been in here cleaning out the living room. We are getting ready to prime it. And so I've gotten almost all the stuff, little stuff out of here. I can't carry this big stuff, so the contractors will do that for me tomorrow. And I still have this little pile left of all of our faucets and fixtures. So I will get that done. And then this room will be ready for primer. I don't know if you've ever really gotten a good tour in here, but here is the ceiling detail. We're super excited that we were able to save it. Get a better view. It goes all around the edge, and we've got that big medallion in the center. You can tell we've had some water damage. I've gotten some advice on how to deal with that, and I was told to use a shellac primer to cover up the spots, and then just go over that then with regular primer. So hopefully that will keep the spots from bleeding through. At least that's what I've been told by both my contractor and the people at Sherwin-Williams. So hopefully they know what they're talking about. And so we're excited. This will all be primed here in a couple of days. And we're gonna hopefully prime the rest of the downstairs as well. That's what I'm working on. See, we've got a new front door in. Oh, this is exciting. Let me show you. We've gotten some of our tile in. We have some fancy tile from Glazio. We have our blue slate tiles that are going to go down in the butler's pantry. We have all of our Dietra. Mike Holmes would be proud. And then these other boxes over here are subway tile, both gray and white. The gray is for Grant's room and the white is for our master shower. So we also got our Schluter Curdy shower pan and drain. So we are ready to get busy. But you can see the contractors still have a lot of stuff in here, and they will be getting that out of here tomorrow, because tomorrow night Chris is going to get in here and use the leaf blower to blow down all the walls and ceiling. That was a trick that we learned off of YouTube to get all the drywall dust off of there. So he's going to be doing that. And then my mom and dad are coming to visit for a couple of days. And Dad and I will start on Tuesday morning. We will tape off all the outlets and the windows and the doors and all that stuff in this whole downstairs. And our first focus is priming everything. We bought one of these new sprayers, the Magnum from Graco. We've already used it upstairs. It is definitely quick. There's a lot of prep work involved, but you can paint a room and, you know, big room in like 40 minutes. So that has been a help. We still have a couple of bathrooms upstairs to paint and the foyer. So we're going to try to get everything primed first. We may not tackle the 2-story foyer over the next couple days. I'm not sure I'm up for that. We shall see. But the rest of the house, we're going to go ahead and start priming. And then if we have extra time, then we're going to go and do the ceilings all at once. That should be a fun day. Stay tuned.
Nothing more refreshing at the end of a long, hot day of work than a bonfire. Seriously, it's like 90 degrees, but we had to get rid of this brush pile. We had a huge pile of tops out of an oak tree that fell last fall. We got it all cut up there. And anyways, we're burning the tops. Finally getting rid of that stuff. Our contractor needs to be able to come down the driveway here and use their skid steer to bring a bunch of fill dirt down here that they've taken from around the house and around the pool. So they need to pile it up down here. So they were trying to drive through the yard over here, but it was too soft, making a huge mess. So we're just clearing off the driveway for them so they can get through here again. Reed's hanging out over here watching a video, watching some Dan TDM. What's up, buddy? Keeping himself entertained. And we're gonna let this fire burn down and then go to the house. Well, that does it for this episode of Woodmere State Revival. Thanks for hanging out with us today. It's been a crazy day. Man, it was hot.
I know.
Really hot. And we got into some heavy stuff. I mean, we moved firewood with a tractor, hauled a bunch of stuff and cleaned brush out, and then Amber painted in the garage.
Yes, so then I moved things into the garage.
Moved a bunch of tools and supplies into the garage in the house. No AC in the house yet, so
no, it's hot in there too.
Sweating up a storm inside. While she was doing that, I had my coveralls on. I was up on the hillside with a string trimmer and mowing down a bunch of weeds and poison ivy and garbage.
And then you went into the pool.
Went into the pool for a few hours and ground on plaster.
Oh.
Got that smoothed down pretty good. We got, what, about 40 feet done, or no, probably more than that, maybe 50.
40 to 50.
30 on one side and 20 on the other. So
yeah.
it's going pretty smoothly. There was some loose plaster in places, so it's taking a little longer than I thought to get the, get all that stuff out. But anyways, we're getting there. So what's next, babe? What else we got to do? We've been burning brush, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we did that. We're finishing the day with that.
Finishing the day burning a brush pile. But yeah, next we've got to finish grinding the plaster, and then we've got to start plastering all around the pool tile and run a bead of polyurethane caulk between the pool tile and the coping.
Yes.
Yep.
I can hardly think tonight.
I know, we're just wore out. And then it's almost time for paint. We can't wait to get paint in the pool. I mean, it's going to be super awesome.
Yeah. And then my dad is coming down and Mom. And
they'll be here this week.
We're going to prime the rest of the house.
Yep.
And hopefully paint ceilings too.
So while they're doing all that good stuff, I'll be working at the office and then coming home and helping out in the evenings.
Someone's going to pay the bills.
Somebody's got to make that dinero. But making good progress. Thanks for hanging out with us. Be sure to hit that subscription button so you don't miss a single episode. And give us a like if you would, please. You got any comments or questions, leave those in the section down below. And as always, be sure to spread the word about Woodmere State Revival. We got lots more action to come. Tons of stuff left to do, isn't there, hon?
Yeah, I don't think it ever ends.
No, I mean, we got probably another 100 episodes coming.
At
so
least.
keep tuning back in. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks. Good night.